Hi, I'm Dr. Clay, and I'm here today to share with you a few basic but very important nutrition tips that will help you get the lean physique you want. Now, without these, no fancy fat burner or exercise program will work because you don't have a solid foundation. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number one, you absolutely have to prepare your meals in advance. If not, you're at the mercy of whatever restaurants or fast food places have, and they're not interested in cooking you healthy food. They're interested in cooking stuff that tastes good and keeps people coming back, right? So, and that's precisely why 66% of the American population is overweight. So don't succumb to what's available out there. Bring your food with you. Do the bulk of your cooking on Sunday and prepare your meals in advance the night before. Put them in little plastic containers and be ready to hit the ground running the next morning. Okay, so prepare your meals in advance. Number two, eat about every 3 hours. Doing so speeds your metabolism up. It's like stoking a fire. It keeps your metabolism revving along and tells your body essentially that it's okay to burn calories. And it will do so, and then you'll be leaner. A real world example of that is that bodybuilders, fitness, and figure athletes do eat about every 3 hours or 6 times a day. And they're obviously an example of individuals that are very lean, right? Sumo wrestlers, on the other hand, eat 1 time per day. So as you can see, it doesn't work. So eat every 3 hours and keep your metabolism revving along. Next, and it's a follow-up to that tip, do not eat until you get full. If you've eaten until you've gotten full, then you've eaten too much. So by eating small, frequent meals, you will, like I said, keep your metabolism going and you'll be ready for that next meal. If you eat too much in one sitting, then some of that is likely to be stored as fat, and then you don't want to eat your next meal. So we're back to square one, where you're not eating every 3 hours. So eat small enough meals that you do not eat until you get full. The only time you should be full is if you just drank a bunch of water, right? Okay. Next tip, make protein, a lean protein source. Make that the hub or the nucleus, the center of each one of those meals. You've got choices like egg whites for breakfast, chicken breasts, fish, even protein powders, fat-free dairy products like cottage cheese and so on. Make those, and even lean meats, make those lean proteins the cornerstone of each and every meal. Protein, more than any of the nutrients, helps keep your metabolism revving, helps keep you full longer, and it's been shown in a number of different studies that eating more protein, within reason, is more beneficial, will make you more successful in your fat loss efforts. So make a lean protein the center of each one of those meals. Next, eat natural foods. And this is one of the best single tips that I could give. Eat foods that come from Mother Nature, not from a box. For instance, eat apples instead of drinking apple juice, right? So eat foods that, if you were a caveman back in the day, foods that you could have eaten then, like whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and lean meats. There you go. So stick with natural foods and you just about can't go wrong. You'll have a hard time getting fat eating natural foods. So stay away from synthetic things that are in a box. Have oatmeal for breakfast, plain old-fashioned oats as opposed to Pop-Tarts. But I love some Pop-Tarts. But anyway, eat natural foods. Next, do not drink sodas, juices, or other calorie-containing beverages. Like I said before, the juice, it's the fiber and most of the good nutrients is taken out of it. You're just left with the fruit sugar. That's not what you want. You want the nutrients. You want the fiber, the other phytonutrients, maybe even some nutrients we haven't discovered yet. So avoid things like, Coke and Pepsi. I mean, unless you're talking about the diet versions. But drinks like that, or like you drinking one of those is just saying, I want to get fat. Stay away from those, especially since they have high fructose corn syrup. That's even worse than just regular sugar. So stay away from those. Again, stay away from juices, even though it sounds like they're good for you. This is apple juice. eat an apple instead. All right, and stay away from other calorie-containing beverages. But one that you can partake in, green tea. Well, of course, water, but green tea. Drink lots of green tea. Not only has it been shown to reduce the risk of certain cancers, but it also contains something called EGCGs, or the fancy term epigallocatechin galates, which helps to reduce body fat. Seems to speed up metabolism and help reduce body fat. So drink lots of green tea. And if you want to indulge in occasional Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi or Crystal Light or so on, then go for it. I wouldn't make those the cornerstone of your fluid intake, but feel free to partake in them here and there. And lastly, do not have more than one cheat meal per week. Some experts will say, oh, have a cheat day one time per week. I found that with myself and dozens upon dozens of clients that I've worked with over the years, a whole cheat day will more than offset the progress that you made during the week. You can gain more fat in one day than you burned off during the week by having a whole cheat day. So I recommend, if anything, a cheat meal. That's just enough to give you a mental break and let you make it through the week, but not enough to sabotage your fat loss efforts. So stick with one cheat meal per week. Now by meal, I mean what you want to have in one setting. Anything goes in that one sitting, but don't drag it out. Just make it your food, your dessert, and an alcoholic beverage if you so desire. All right, so one cheat meal per week. If you want to get really serious, have even less than that. Have one cheat meal every other week. Okay, if you will make these fundamental nutrition principles that I just went over, if you will make these the cornerstone of your program, you'll be set. And without making these the cornerstone of your program, you'll be screwed. No fancy fat burner will compensate for doing these fundamental principles. So apply these to your nutrition program and watch what happens. I'm Dr. Clay.